Hi, we're here with Bert Hochfeld, former hedge fund manager. I'm Jonathan Hedvat. Today I'd like to talk about investment strategy for your portfolio. A lot of people say that, Bert, that I'm going to buy a few good companies, not look at it, wait a few years, and that's it. A few good companies and do nothing. That's one strategy. Some people just say, I want to buy these two names and I want to retire rich from these names. Can you tell me the possible gains they might get from that and the possible risks that they have dealing with this type of strategy? Because it's pretty common for retail investors, I think, to just set it and forget it.
I thought that was some kind of a cooker.
Yeah, I think Ron Popeil had used to sell the set it and forget it rotisserie chicken.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think that sold really well, so maybe that sells well for investing too.
I have clients like that. Their basic reason is that they don't want to pay taxes, and so they say to me, if I sell something, I have to pay a high rate of tax right now. And unless you're telling me that the outlook for this company has changed substantially for the negative, I don't want to sell it. And I understand that. And in fact, if you have that kind of capital, that may be appropriate for you. But one of the things you have to understand is stocks do have lives of their own. Well, I tell you not to anthropomorphize stocks.
Meaning, not treat a stock like a person, like it has you shouldn't take it personally. These are just companies with lives and deaths like that. But that doesn't mean that, you should start to love them because they're like a person.
What I will tell you inevitably is that if your thesis works out and shares appreciate at a rapid rate, someone is going to come in with some kind of negative story about something.
Because he might be a short seller, that his short thesis is going the wrong way. And he wants to save his own book, as you call it.
But an analyst is looking to engender trades.
Meaning, what do you mean engender trades?
Make trades, okay?
Okay. Well, he wants to give a trading idea to his clientele.
The other day, fellow down at J.P. Morgan downgraded Nutanix.
A stock ticker NTNX.
Why did he do that? He actually could believe what he said, but I think he's smarter than that, and more experienced than that. So I don't really believe that he was serious. The two reasons he adduced for the downgrade are spurious. Excuse me. And basically wrong. And I think he knows that. However, he also knows that Nutanix shares have gone up almost more than 100% in a short period of time. A lot of people sitting on large gains. And if he frightens a few people, it's possible Morgan Stanley will get some volume. Okay? Not going to be able to do that with Oracle, for example, which is flat. So people do that. I mean, I wish they wouldn't do that, but that's a fact of life. Over time, the operational performance of a company is going to determine its relative performance. But you may not like the you may feel uncomfortable when you see J.P. Morgan downgrade your largest holding. You may say, what does he know that I don't know? And you may say, I made 80% on my money. How much more can I possibly make? All of these things go through people's minds. And so you have to determine, as an investor, if you can deal with that, and if you can not respond by tossing in your position. So it's not as easy to buy and hold as you think.
So you could possibly do really well buying and holding, but the likelihood that it will work out like that seems to be less certain.
Well, one of the things that's going to happen, let me give you an example, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I have been involved with open text one way or another for a long time.
Open text is a stock. What is the ticker?
OTEX.
OTEX.
So, about 15 months ago, they announced that they were buying what's called the EIM division of Dell EMC. So, the stock excuse me, the stock in that year returned 100%.
Open text.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it didn't return anything last year. Nothing at all. It was $34 at the start of the year, it was $34 at the end of the year.
So still about 45% appreciation each year on average.
Yes,
Yeah.
but if you own it and you go to a party and somebody says, you got that open text in your portfolio, it hasn't done anything in the last 6 months. It doesn't happen that way, of course, but the fact of the matter is that's the way stocks trade. It didn't do anything for a year. And you may say, what I should do is trade around the position, because it certainly has gone up and down in the course of the year. You may say, well, it doubled, so I think I'm going to trim it.
So trade around means sell a little bit when it goes up, buy a little bit when it goes down.
Yeah.
Okay.
You may say, I ought to trim it and redeploy the capital someplace else.
Because you think the company is slowed down because the share prices have not been keep going up.
Well, the share price went up, it went up 100%.
Yeah.
What's the odds on it going up another 100% the next year?
Probably lower.
Almost certainly lower.
Yeah.
So, yes, I don't have a problem with people trying to define a portfolio strategy where they can set it and forget it and get perfect roast chicken every time. But you will see that the chicken doesn't cook at a constant speed. Sometimes the chicken cooks very quickly, and sometimes it doesn't cook at all, and sometimes it gets colder. And you have to be able to deal with that as part of...
So changing business conditions, erratic share price movements, analyst upgrades and downgrades, they're all going to be affecting the share price, and you might have some uncertainty while holding it. So unless you're
I guarantee you, in all my years, I have never seen the best companies in the world that have not had times when they stopped going up.
So
Amazon.
yeah.
The reason Amazon was able to go up so much is because it didn't go up at all for a period of time.
So was there any year, looking back, 2000, 2001, 2002, that if you held all those picks from that year till now, would you be better off or worse off? Like, was all the, say 10 years ago, if you were holding the shares you were holding from 2008, would you be up right now, or, I mean, can you think of that? Is that a very difficult question to answer?
Because I'm a tech investor,
Yeah.
okay, that's probably, that probably doesn't apply as much as it would to certain other areas of investing. Nutanix did not exist. Alteryx did not exist.
But what do you hold?
Viva did not exist.
But the holdings that you had 10 years ago, would they beat the Dow by now, or probably not? Or NASDAQ?
The BI companies, all of which I have held at one time or the other, got bought.
So they would have to have the new share price activity.
They all got bought.
So I
in
mean,
2007 and 8.
have you ever questioned if I just held my holdings from 1 year, and okay, so say some flash company got bought out by Western Digital, like, would you, if you held, I mean, have you ever thought, hey, what if I just did nothing 1 year and waited 5 years? Is that better, or it's usually not the case?
I would say it's very rarely the case. Very, very rarely the case. If
So-
you're trying, maybe 3 years is about as long as if you don't think somebody in their garage is trying to figure out a new way of implementing AI, you know, they are.
So yeah, I've heard from this investor, I think David Drummond, he said, if you're not making money on a pick in 3 years, you have to get out of it because most likely nothing's going to change.
So I'm just telling you that 3 years is my maximum time horizon for anything.
Mm-hmm.
Anything. I'll guarantee you that the environment will change. Now, some companies have superb management teams that they can pivot properly, but most don't. The pivots are late, they're incomplete, they're poorly executed. Who knows?
Okay, so for the record, it seems that set it and forget it investing is probably going to work against you, and some type of information analysis might be crucial to your long-term investing performance.
I think so.
On the regular. All right, thank you, Bert.
Thank you, John.